Okay, so ready for another deep dive?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. This time, we're diving into something that, well, it kind of throws a little tough love our way.
Okay.
It's called stop complaining, start executing. Pretty direct, right?
Straight to the point. I like it.
Right. So, no more wishing things were different, no more getting bogged down in what we can't control. This is all about action.
Makes sense. I mean, everyone complains sometimes, right?
Totally. But this deep dive, it's like, how do we take that energy, that frustration maybe, and actually channel it into, well, doing something?
Okay, so how does this source suggest we do that?
It really zeroes in on this idea of execution, and it's more than just working hard.
Right, right. Like just putting in the hours doesn't automatically equal success.
Exactly. It's about working smarter, not just harder. And it got me thinking about like all those success stories we hear about, the entrepreneurs, the artists, whoever. They didn't just have a good idea, they found a way to actually execute on it.
And that's what separates the dreamers from the doers. I see where this is going.
Right. Like, I'm picturing someone like, say, Jeff Bezos building Amazon from the ground up. It wasn't just about having the idea for online shopping, it was the relentless execution, step by step strategy in place that made it a reality.
Like, okay, you have the vision, but how are you actually going to tune it into tangible results? That's the execution part.
Totally. And one thing that struck me about this source, it's pretty blunt, wouldn't you say? Like almost a tough love approach.
Yeah, a little bit. It's like no sugarcoating. You want to see change,
Yeah.
and stop whining and get to work.
Right. And I know some people might find that harsh, but I think there's something to be said for that kind of directness. It cuts through the excuses.
It does. It's like, okay, enough with the blame game, enough with the what ifs and maybes. What are you going to do about it right now?
Exactly. It's empowering in a way, owning your ability to make things happen.
It is. And it's not about having all the answers right away either. The source talks about realistic expectations, which I think is key.
Oh, absolutely. This isn't some overnight success scheme, right? It's about consistency.
Exactly. Small steps, taken consistently over time, they add up.
It's so true. It reminds me of this one time I was trying to, well, it doesn't matter exactly what it was, but
A goal, a project.
yeah, exactly. And it felt huge, totally overwhelming. I almost talked myself out of it a bunch of times.
We've all been there.
Right. But then I remembered something similar to what we're talking about. And I was like, okay, what's the smallest possible step I can take today to move forward? So that's what I did. And the next day I did a little bit more. And you know what? It took a while, but eventually I got there.
There you go. Proof that consistent action, even in small doses, can lead to big results.
Exactly. And that actually ties into one of the most practical takeaways from this source, this idea of breaking down larger goals into smaller, manageable steps.
Because it's a lot less intimidating to tackle a bite-sized task than to try and swallow the whole thing at once.
Exactly. It's so easy to get overwhelmed when you're only focused on the end goal, which might feel miles away. But if you can break it down, find that first very doable action step.
Then you're already in motion. And that's the key, right?
Right.
Getting started, building momentum.
Exactly. So, as we wrap up here, thinking about our listeners, maybe they're on their commute, maybe they're out for a walk, whatever they're doing, what's one small, concrete step they can take today to move closer to something they've been putting off?
Doesn't have to be huge. Even just writing it down, putting it on the calendar makes it
Oh,
real.
I love that. That's such a great point. Even a small step forward is still progress, you know?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Until next time, everybody.
See ya.